Welcome to Inside Connect. I'm Marlene Martinez, and I'm sitting here with Sierra Jimenez and Roxanne Boysick, and we're going to be discussing the Walt Shepperd piece that they most recently worked on. So, Roxanne, if you can tell me, what was the most memorable thing you brought from the Walt Shepperd piece?
Well, I would say it's the way that he cares about the youth of the city of Syracuse. He has his media unit program, which is produced by the teens in Syracuse. They go to different youth centers and get other teens to get involved. So just the way that he cares about the young people.
I see, okay. And as you said, at the media unit, he teaches kids and they have a show. And each of the kids, they take on different roles and become different characters. Now, Walt is a character himself. He does not drive and he only walks. Why is that, Sierra?
He just doesn't feel the need to. He feels that the Central bus system is completely fine the way it is to get him wherever he needs to be. He gave up driving quite a few years ago, and he also gets a lot of stories from the Central bus. He says he meets a lot of people that way, and it just, there's really no need for him to drive.
Now, you saw some of the kids and you watched part of the show. I think The Back of the Bus was the title of the play. How did you observe the kids when you were there? Were they having lots of fun? Did they really understand the impact of the show?
Oh yeah, they were very proud to talk about issues that face them in their own schools and communities, whether it was, racial tensions or just the fact of fitting in, the diversity in schools. So it was a very interesting show.
One of the questions that I found most interesting was, or one of the answers rather, he said that what a lot of people in Syracuse are good at doing is complaining or whining. Now, during your interview, do you feel like he did more discussion or more whining?
He did a little bit of both. I think that Walt is definitely a complainer himself, but he has a right to complain. He's been here for 40 years reporting on these issues, and he's seen a lot of people mess up or just not do anything. And I think he has some very interesting ideas about how to fix those, or basically just throwing down the towel and say, do whatever you want because it can't get any worse. So.
I'm not sure if you asked him this question, but do you know why one of his ways of really connecting with the community is through theater and performance, as opposed to what he used to do, like write articles or make speeches, run for office or something like that?
It's not necessarily just the theater, it's the theater with the kids. He feels that the youth is the biggest need in the city of Syracuse, and the way to connect with them and the way to express what they are going through is through something that kids are going to watch, is through something that's interesting that even the community is going to watch. So I think he took that pathway rather than just writing, because a lot of kids are going to watch that, and a lot of kids want to get to be a part of that as well.
Now, so you said there were a lot of kids there, and can you explain what the media unit was like inside? Like the props, the scenery, what was going on inside?
Well, they have a lot going on there. They have this big stage set up with lots of props, and the kids were very excited to be there. Their parents are in the audience, their friends. They were just excited to be putting themselves out there and taking a risk and saying what they feel about their communities.
From what you saw with the audience, from those that did show up to watch the play, what was the response or the atmosphere that you picked up on while you were there?
I would say they were pretty intense and focused on what the kids were saying, and with good reason, because they do have some very good messages that they're saying.
So the actual piece was more about what was the play about? Back of the Bus.
Back of the Bus was basically about taking the issues that we think are already gone about race and kind of this higher thought that whites are better than blacks, as Walt would explain it, and bringing it into present day. And so there were these two girls, one was black, one was white, saying that they're each more troubled than the other. And so it was just about talking about those types of issues.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, ladies, for speaking with me about Walt Shepperd. And this was another episode of Inside Connect.